And then he was like, no, obviously we had to pick I don't know how I get this reputation, but he was like, we decided to get our most country, to put it nicely, girl on the team, and we couldn't think of a better person than you. And I was like, wow, I'm honored.
Do you think it might be the Texas and the Alabama?
It's the Texas-Bama combo, and it's just who I am. I can't hide it.
Hello, welcome to the United Soccer Lounge. My name is Riley James. I have to be transparent with you for just a moment before we get to Riley Parker of the Carolina Ascent. I got in the studio about 10, 15 minutes ago after a 14-hour travel day from Tampa, Florida, back to my home here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And you might be thinking, what a work ethic on this guy. He's going for it. He sounds energetic. He's probably tired, and I am tired. But I don't want you to confuse what has the appearance of work ethic with the reality of me being an idiot and forgetting I actually haven't done an intro-outro for Riley Parker, which I'm going to do now. We were in Houston, Texas. The Carolina Ascent were down playing the Dash for a preseason friendly. The Dash opened their doors to us to be able to do a show that's not about their league and not about their team. We did it with the opponent, and they were so gracious, and I'll talk in the close about my relationship with Houston and the Dynamo Dash. I'm super thankful to everyone over there. But as for Riley, she's hilarious, she's brilliant, she's insightful, and she's an Alabama alum. Go Tigers. But regardless, despite the fact that she represented a team of elephants, she is a fantastic soccer player. We talked about the progression of our career, adapting to different styles of play between Alabama and Louisville and Tigres, and making her way to the Super League with Tampa, then a mid-season move last year to Carolina. We dip into that move and what that was like to adjust to a new team in the middle of the year. Last year's end to Carolina, the preseason so far, the differences between the NWSL and where the USL Super League is in comparison to it, and then a great part of the show about Texas youth soccer for her experience growing up and her message to the next generation of kids coming through Texas and what they can do and achieve with so many opportunities available to them. So a really great moment there. We also talked about NASCAR because that's what we do on this show. Gainbridge has been so great for the USL Super League. We'll talk about that over the course of the show as well. We packed in a lot to a very tightly scheduled show, and I'm excited to share it with you right now. Thank you so much for watching our show. If you like us, you can subscribe to us, the United Soccer Lounge on Goals.tv. Goals TV is available on YouTube with some really great shows. Really, Eric Winalda works for us, and he is brilliant. So go and subscribe to the channel for that, and our show too. But that's it for us off the top. Thank you so much to the Houston Dash for hosting us, and thank you to the Carolina Ascent for providing Riley, and thank you so much for watching. So here it is, Riley Parker down in Houston, Texas.
Please welcome to the program a native of Flower Mound, Texas. Mid-season move last year from Tampa Bay to Carolina Ascent. Please welcome to the program, Riley Parker. Riley, how are you?
Good. How are you, Riley?
I'm doing great, Riley.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Lot to get to today. You don't have a lot of time, so we appreciate you making the time to do it in Houston, Texas, of all places.
Yep, close to home.
Yeah. Not in Carolina, like we expected to do this.
Right.
But Houston, Texas is good enough for us.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
A place that's meant a lot to me in my career. I talked about that in the open, but you're from Flower Mound.
Yeah.
It's not far, relatively, to Carolina.
Yeah.
What's it like to be back in Texas?
Yeah, I love Texas. It's always fun coming back to the home state, for sure. Houston's not too bad of a drive for my family, so have some, my mom and my sister are coming and some friends are coming, so I always love coming back and getting to see who I can while I'm in for the short period of time.
Yeah. It's awesome. Preseason for you guys, obviously getting ready for the start, a defense of the Players' Shield, and obviously going for the first Super League title in the history of the club. We have a lot to unpack with that, and we'll do that over the course of the season. But for right now, preseason friendly with the Houston Dash. What is the expectation for this club as you prepare against the NWSL club?
Yeah, I think the expectation is just to compete right now. I mean, literally just started our preseason, so we had, a significant amount of turnover. So the expectation for today is just to compete and kind of measure where we're at against, an NWSL club, and see where we're at in terms of that and in terms of like us preparing for our season. So, fitness, play, getting those relationships on the field with some of the new girls that we've brought in. So we're definitely looking forward to it, and I think the biggest thing is just competing.
And coming in mid-season last year, obviously a lot to adjust to in that short amount of time. Now you have the off-season. Now you have a brand new group of teammates as well as some ones from last year. How's that preseason been, kind of meshing with everybody as you start to play some games now?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I just love Carolina, and I think it's just such a good environment. So it's a little bit different from obviously coming in mid-season last January. Like, it was only a couple of us. Like, I think it was just me and Jenna Butler maybe that were the additions. So I think the adjustment was maybe a little bit quicker, but maybe it was just taken more in stride just because there was so much, it was just fewer of us. Now we have more girls and a little bit more time to kind of work these new players into the system. But it's been a lot of fun. I definitely think the easy thing could have been just like, no, we're going to stay at home and get fit. And I really like, and I think it says a lot about this club, taking on this friendly and seeing where we're at and working on those relationships on the field.
Right. Now, and heading out to LA and obviously some friendlies to get you guys warmed up for that August start is a cool one. I want to move past this because I feel like we're wasting the personality a little bit. Obviously, you're very, very funny on the internet, and you just spent a weekend with Gainbridge and NASCAR.
Yeah.
You said it reignited maybe some passions from younger Riley.
Yes.
What was that experience like, and what did you do?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was actually hilarious. Pooley kind of played a joke on me a little bit. He was like, hey, has, Becky talked to you? And I'm like, no, like, what is he talking about? Like, I'm so nervous. Like, what is this mystery conversation? And he was like, well, the league is partnering with Gainbridge, so they're picked, and he's like hyping it up so much. He's like, they're rolling out the red carpet for you guys at the NASCAR All-Star Race in North Wilkesboro, like all this stuff. And he was like, and I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, will you tell one of the other girls and see if they want to go? And like, I was like, oh my gosh, he got me good. And I was like, I remember that. And then he was like, no, obviously we had to pick I don't know how I get this reputation, but he was like, we decided to get our most country, to put it nicely, girl on the team, and we couldn't think of a better person than you. And I was like, wow, I'm honored.
Do you think it might be the Texas and the Alabama?
It's the Texas-Bama combo, and it's just who I am. I can't hide it. But yeah, no, it was so much fun, and I wanted to be a race car driver when I was little, and I've told the story before, like my first time in a car. We have some land out in East Texas and, teach you to drive when you're little, and I just put my whole foot down on the pedal, and they were like, slow down, and I was like, I'm a race car driver, and I just always loved to go fast. But yeah, it was so fun just getting to hang out with the drivers, Carson and Justin, and they just treated us like the coolest kids in the world, and it was a blast, honestly.
And it's been really cool to see how the Super League has gotten its players into those things. We interviewed Jordan Listro after the final win, and she was at the NBA Finals game the next week.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see what the league's able to do for you guys. Now you enter year 2 into the league. The year 1, you really didn't know what to expect a lot of the time. What's the feeling as you go into your second season?
Yeah, I think it's just continuing to grow, like never being satisfied with where you're at. There's leagues all over the world that have been around for obviously longer than the Super League has. So in a way, it's really nice to kind of be able to take the growing pains of other leagues and learn from those before you make those same, maybe not mistakes, but just like things that you would have liked to do differently. So I think just continuous growth is huge, and just never being satisfied with where you're at.
And the addition of Gainbridge, obviously.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
It was huge for us. So definitely that partnership is huge for us, and it's cool to see like a USL Super League post next to like a Caitlin Clark post, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's because they've gotten so much talking around their sport and stuff. So to kind of see that go side by side and has been really cool.
Yeah, it's almost as cool as playing on Peacock.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All the games, one spot.
Yeah, I can watch The Office right after you finish post game with
I
you
honestly,
guys.
yeah, I can't think of anything better.
Let's talk about a couple places that you've been. Louisville and Tigres and Tampa and University of Alabama. You've had to adjust to a lot of styles. How does Riley Parker do that? Because it seems very difficult from the non-professional athlete side of it.
I mean, yeah, change. I think change is hard for anyone. I think the biggest thing is just seeing it as more of a challenge than an obstacle, and the mindset into meeting that head on and adapting to whatever role that system of play or that staff is asking of you. I think that's really just the biggest thing, the key to playing for different teams and different styles, just being coachable, having a good mindset, a good attitude about it, I would say.
That now that you've transitioned, right? We talked about that coming in halfway through last season. Now you have the full off season. Obviously, the playoffs were a disappointment. Yeah. But to win the Players' Shield, to have a trophy in the cabinet, mindset and the idea of what 25-26 can be, have those conversations started yet in the preseason about like, this is our team goal and this is how we plan to achieve those things?
Right. Yeah. I mean, from even when I joined the team in January, like, winning the league and winning the Shield was always the goal and always the expectation. We obviously achieved the first one and then fell short with the second, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, that sucks. Like, right. But I mean, very immediately after, I mean, you have conversations the next day with your teammates and coaches, and I think what makes this club special, and the staff and the group special, is there was no, like, you obviously feel the emotions and the pains of falling short from your goal for days, weeks, but just the immediate, like, okay, well, next year we're gonna accomplish both. Like, already looking to how can we learn from falling short this year and applying it to next year. Just that quick turnaround of the mindset to how can we improve and how can we achieve the goal that we had set for next year. That quickly, I think, is not super common. So I think that's the mindset going into this year. I mean, the mindset is always to win everything. Everybody's like, oh, you can't win it all. Why would you not try?
Right.
So
why do you play if you don't?
Yeah, exactly. You play for fun, but it's only fun if you win. So.
A couple more things. I promise to get you out of here on this.
Yeah,
super thankful you made time for this show, right?
Yeah, of course.
We've tried to be a big supporter of the Super League, and they've paid us back tenfold. So for Carolina to set this up is cool. Let's talk about home base, right? Heading back, playing in front of those fans. You got to experience, the spring season of that, but what can people expect, not only from the club and from the players and from the 11, but kind of the atmosphere of what it's like to be able to come to a game in Carolina and experience what the support has been for you guys, because it's one of the best support bases in the league. And you guys obviously repaid them with a first place regular season and a lot of home wins. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to describe because it's just like an energy and a feeling that you get when you're there. And, there's all those people in the stands from, all different ages and everything. And the kids, my favorite thing is seeing the kids on the front. And, like, I just can't help but, they all want to give you a high five when you're coming out at halftime. And I know some people are, like, a little bit more, like, and I'm like, oh, man, I just remember being that kid and being like, oh, just want a high five. Right. So it just makes me so happy to see stuff like that. And it's hard to describe what you can expect, because it's really more of just like a feeling.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience. I mean, just all these fans that are rooting for you. And, there's 11 on the field, but you have 5,000 in the stands, that it feels like every single person is on the field with you almost. So it's amazing.
It's a really cool.
Yeah, we're definitely lucky for sure.
Yeah, it's a really cool place because I've been to a couple of Super League places in the country, and it's like Cotton Bowl is a really cool experience to go and be able to play at. Obviously, probably for you since you're close by. But I mean, Carolina is one of the places that we want to go to, and we want to be able to make the trip out, and to see the support and see everything that you guys have is really, really cool. And I'm happy you mentioned the kids, right? Because there is something that it's been really an interesting part of the Super League, whether it's an intended benefit or not, is there's a lot more roster spots for American soccer players and people to play in the United States. Obviously, a lot more girls are going to get opportunities. We're in Texas, right? You're from Texas. If you could speak to a couple of those girls growing up in Texas, wanting an opportunity, maybe play for the Dash, maybe play in the Super League with the Trinity, or maybe go out and have experiences all over the world like you have, what's that one piece of advice that you would give to specifically the Texas girls?
To the Texas girls, I think I would just say, I don't know, there's so many like good pieces of, like, you know, I think aim as high as you can would be one. Like, don't sell yourself short. I mean, growing up on club, I was in and out of the lineup, like playing, not playing, and there were times when I thought like I wasn't even gonna get very many college offers or anything like that. So being in high school and like not even having that many college offers when everybody else, it seems like everybody else and their mom is getting like, oh yeah, this person offered me and this person offered me. Like, everybody is on their own journey. So I would say, I don't know who said it, but I think what I'm trying to get at is comparison is the thief of joy, and you're on your own journey. And just to focus on the process and whatever that means to you to get to where you want to go. And that should be aiming as high as you want to. So I think there were a lot of pieces of advice in that, but maybe that was a massive run-on sentence.
It's okay. It's not a grammar show.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, we don't want to see that on paper for sure. No. Both my parents are English majors. They would be very disappointed in me.
As a journalist, I have a minor in English, but
no.
No, the people that watch this
let
show.
Let my parents and Riley down. So.
People that watch this show, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they probably don't care.
They're not going to see it written. Yeah. But no, it's cool that you mentioned kind of the different things, and we'll get you out of here, promise. But I mean, you've dealt with a lot of that adversity all throughout your career, right? You didn't get a lot of offers, and you end up at Alabama. Mm-hmm. You know, SEC school. You know, being from Louisiana, we're not big fans of the Tide.
That's all right. Not everyone can be perfect, but Louisianans will try.
Yeah, we'll do our best. You know, and it's funny that you say that because we're both here talking to each other. So what's that say about us?
You make a good point. Good point.
But to deal with all those things, you're a great example. Really, just a really great role model for a lot of Texas girls to look up to, and a lot of girls around the country, and obviously some new fans in Carolina. So we thank you so much for the time. Have a great season and stay healthy.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone with Carolina Ascent to help make this show happen. To get it scheduled, to get her there, to get her out on time, it was quite the production. So shout out to Jameson on the social media side and Harrison on the communications side. Just everyone to help make that happen from the visiting side was so incredible, and I could not be more thankful to the work that they put in. But as for the hosting team, right, the Houston Dash are not in the USL Super League, and I didn't interview a Dash player. So the fact that they were so gracious to open their place up to us, to give us everything that we needed. I got a free water. They gave us chairs. They helped set up the show. It's a testament to what kind of club that they are. But my roots run a little deeper with them. The first time I showed up to a Houston Dynamo game, I was 17 years old. I was wearing a suit that was very sweaty, and I was nervous and just so out of place. I had imposter syndrome more than you can believe. And they were so kind and so patient and so accepting of me from day one. And then 4 years of covering Major League Soccer, 2 years with an emphasis on the Dynamo, 2 years as a national reporter. They were patient with me. Houston was kind of my home base, right? Because it's 2 hours from where I live. So the fact that they welcomed me over 70 times, they got comfortable with me. They knew who I was. We had talks. We communicated on a personal level with I got to know everyone in the Dynamo staff. And people have moved on, but the guy I worked with, Edgar, he's still there, and he was so kind to me in the show, and he understood what was going on and really wanted this to be successful. So he did everything he could to make us comfortable, and I could not be more appreciative of that. If you're in the Houston area, go watch Houston Dash games. Support the Houston Dynamo and Dash because they've supported me beyond anything I could ever convey to you. So it's a really special show for me to be able to do it in a place I love very, very much and to do it with people that I respect immensely. So that'll wrap it up for me. I'm sorry. I really love working with Houston again. It's been so long. It's been since right after COVID. Like the world opened back up right after the end of the shutdown and everything. So to be back there after a couple of years meant a lot to me. But as far as the Carolina Ascent, to work with them again, to be able to chat after the game with Riley Parker and her family, right? To meet the entire support staff that she was able to bring down from Dallas area. Jill Aguilera, talked to her for a second. She is brilliant. She had a great preseason match as they prepared their first of 2 games. They played the Dash, and then they went over to Los Angeles to play Angel City. And then catching up with Luana Grabias. I feel like I run into her every time I do one of these shows. I called her in Fort Lauderdale, called her in Brooklyn, and then had a great conversation with her off the cameras in Carolina. So really just thankful to meet everyone with the Carolina Ascent. They were all so great to me. Jameson did a fantastic job setting everything up and being so kind to me as I probably bothered her all throughout the match. So really one of my favorite shows I've ever done in my life in Houston, Texas. And we have another really great one coming up next week with Tampa Bay Sun. We did it on location. We had the trophy on set. We had Denise Schulte Brown. We had Sydney DeCello. And we had a really great time as we did 2 shows in Florida. The one with Sarasota Paradise comes out down the line, TBD. But next week, we kick off the Gainbridge Super League kickoff week with Tampa Bay Sun. So 2 great shows to kick off this year's USL Super League, and what better way to wrap up the show than that? So if you like us, you can get in touch with us on the internet. I am at Riley James IAC on Instagram and X. The show's Instagram account's available at USL on Goals. The parent company is at goals.tv on Instagram, at goals_TV on X. And there's many great creators just exploring this wonderful world of soccer and everything in it. And that's available on www.goals.tv. Don't forget, my entire catalog of shows is on that website too, so make sure to check those things out. Thank you so much for watching our program. For everyone in Houston, Texas, for Riley Parker, I'm Riley James. If anyone cares, we'll see you next week in Tampa, Florida.